Gentlemen, this is a two-part question, and there's a question in here for each one of you. So, in your political ad, Senator Tester, you've been saying that you would bring more Montana to Washington. You've also been saying that Senator Burns has lost touch with Montana. Senator Burns, how do you respond to the claim that you have been in Washington too long and that you have lost touch with Montana? And Senator Tester, outline specifically how you would bring more Montana to Washington.
Who's first, me? Senator Burns, you're first.
You're first this time.
I'm first?
Yes.
Oh my goodness sakes alive. Ever since I've been in the United States Senate, I've come home every other weekend. I like to come home. I probably come home to my district, if you represent a state west of the 100th meridian, more than any other senator that serves there. I still like to go down to the auction. I still like to go out and see my friends in my own haunts, and I don't have to take security or a bunch of folks with me when I go. I like to come to Great Falls. And I like to talk to people on their farms and ranches and their small businesses. That's why I still know what cattle's worth, and I know what wheat's worth, and I know just about all the challenges that we have as Montanans. And I take that back to Washington every other weekend. And I'll tell you what, I the other day got a letter from Northwest Airlines saying you've just gone 2 million miles on this airline. You wear out airplanes in the seats of your pants, traveling between here and Washington, D.C. And why do you do it? Because I'll tell you what, I told you a while ago, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You have to come home. You have to renew yourself in the values and the principles that we learned in Montana, because I'll tell you what, I was in a business where you did business on a handshake. And that still happens here in the state of Montana. So I'm still, Phyllis and I are still going to the same Atonement Lutheran Church in Billings, Montana, where we baptized our kids, and we're still a member of that congregation. And we go. That's part of our life. That's part of who we are, and that's part of who you are.
Thank you. Mr. Tester.
It revolves around what's happened in the past few years. I think Senator Burns has changed from what he was in 1988 when he was first elected. The reports have come back, many, about his relationship with Abramoff and other K Street lobbyists. But I will tell you, please, I will tell you what motivates me to run for this office more than anything, and the Montana value that motivates me to run for this office are your kids and your grandkids. Fact is my grandparents came to this country almost 100 years ago, and they worked hard, and they made a living out of it, and they made her stick. And you know why they did it? They did it for their kids. My parents. My wife's folks did the same thing, same pattern. Grandparents came in, homesteaded, their parents took it over. And my parents worked hard to give us opportunity, just as Charlotte's parents did. Fact is, the bottom line is, we need to take care of this earth. We need to give our kids opportunity so they have the opportunity to be successful and enjoy the kind of quality of life we have. That's rapidly disappearing. That's a Montana value. And it's disappearing to the likes of $30,000 in debt for every man, woman, and child, my granddaughter, my grandson yet to be born in January. That's not fair. That takes away opportunities. We need to have somebody back there who can balance a checkbook.
Would you like your 30-second rebuttal?
Well, when you look at who has the seniority, the effectiveness, and the experience to represent this great state in the United States Senate, you're looking at it. And I know it's disappointing to John. A lot of things haven't happened that should have happened. But he keeps dragging out that same old dead horse that I've lost touch. I haven't changed my stripes. Thank you.
Thank you. We have finished our panel questions. We allotted time during this debate for each of the candidates to ask a question to the opposing candidate. Senator Burns has the luck of the draw for the first question to John Tester. Senator?
I was interested, and I wrote it down here. John, my question is this. You place a lot of emphasis on your support for Malmstrom Air Force Base. Yet you accepted $26,000 from the Council for a Livable World, and they want it gone. They want it shut down and gone. They want to pull the missiles out of the ground and close bases all over this country like Malmstrom. Now, if you support Malmstrom, I'm asking you, why don't you give the money back?
First of all, contrary to some aspersions in that question, my vote can't be bought. But I will tell you that the Council for a Livable World doesn't want Malmstrom Air Force closed. The fact is their concern is about nuclear weapons. Their concern is about dirty bombs and the potential of places like North Korea getting nuclear weapons, and how we need to apply diplomatic pressure so that doesn't happen. Unfortunately, that happened. Fact is that I think that there's enough nuclear material in Russia that we're forgetting about. These folks are concerned about that. We need to make sure we get that into our possession so we don't have terrorists with nuclear capabilities, and that's what they're concerned about. As far as Malmstrom Air Force Base goes, I will tell you that it is absolutely critical for our national security. I will go to the mat to make sure that not only Malmstrom Air Force Base continues its job of servicing those Minuteman III missiles, but also so they can get another mission, because quite frankly, I think not only do they need it, but this country needs it for its security. In the end, when we talk about being able to produce for Montana, I can tell you this. I've produced in the Montana Senate. I will produce in the U.S. Senate, because I know how to build coalitions, I know how to build bridges, and I know how to work with the other side of the aisle and get things done.
Would you like a 30-second rebuttal, Senator Burns?
Well, I hope he understands it takes a little seniority before you get on the committees in which you really like to serve on, and you can contribute. I know one thing. This next term, I'll be chairman of the full Commerce Committee. I'm looking forward to that, and that has to do with transportation, communications, aviation, a lot of things that touch our lives, to build that infrastructure so that the ingenuity and the imagination of the American people can survive.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Mr. Tester, your question for Senator Burns.
Senator Burns, a number of your former staff members have gone on to successful lobbying careers, hauling in some $20 million lobbying on issues before your committees. Some have even left your office, gone to work as lobbyists, and then come back to your office. Another started at a lobbying firm, I believe it was Abramoff's firm to be precise, left to go to work for you, and then, this may not be a shock to you, went back to Abramoff's firm. Senator Burns, isn't it time you stopped the revolving door that separates your office and the big money Washington lobbyists?
John, you've been beating up on me on this for 18 months. 18 months. Nothing has changed because there's nothing there. That must be awfully disappointing to you.
$100,000 in legal fees, $27,000 in legal fees last month. There's something there, Senator Burns. You need to be honest with the people.